Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with an absolutely fabulous disc featuring the music of Nikos Skalkottas. It's the Neoclassical Skalkottas. Yes, there was a Neoclassical Skalkottas. I know you've been losing sleep wondering whether or not there was a Neoclassical Skalkottas, but indeed there is. Now, I did a little bit on Skalkottas previously. We talked about his 36 Greek dances, which are amazing, fabulous pieces. And there's much, much more to him than the nationalistic composer, the romantic nationalist kind of guy, because he began life as a wild experimentalist, follower of Schoenberg and people like that, the atonal crew. And for that reason, he has a reputation which is very formidable and very, very intimidating. And lots of people who know him only know that period in his life, which is extremely thorny and difficult and challenging. But also, there's marvelous music there too, it really is. I mean, some incredible stuff. But he also went through a neoclassical phase, evidently, and here it is. Now, his music has been addressed fairly comprehensively by an edition on BIS, and we'll probably talk about some of those too at some point. But when this disc came out, I reviewed it on ClassicsToday.com. It's an insider review, and if you subscribe to Classics Today Insider, you can read that review and also listen to some extra music other than what I'm going to play here. But my goodness, this was just an enchanting disc. His later work, and he only lived to be like 45. He was. Let me see what his years are here. 1904 to 1949. Yeah, he had a short life, but in that period of time, he wrote a lot of music, and it's a bit of a mess. And so his neoclassical period has been largely ignored. I don't know how long that period was, particularly. But also, although he's, of course, a household name, sort of, in Greece, I guess he's the feta cheese of Greek composers, he doesn't get much play anywhere else. And because Greek musical life is, well, let's just say, not as extensive as in other European countries, there hasn't been any sort of homegrown push to make his name known internationally. Not that's been available, like on major labels and whatnot, and had distribution. So this particular disc with the Athens State Orchestra sounds perfectly fine under Stefanos Tsialis is particularly welcome because you want to hear the hometown team doing the hometown guy. They know what they're doing with it, at least theoretically, and the stuff on here is really, really special. First, let's talk about what's on here. There is the Sinfonietta in B-flat major for orchestra. It's from 1948, just the year before he died. So his neoclassical phase happens at the end of his life. And then we have the Classical Symphony, it's called, and it's not for a classical ensemble. It's for wind orchestra, 2 harps, and double basses. Ooh, isn't that fun? In fact, the Greek dances were arranged for bands, some of them were, and they are popular as band pieces. But, I mean, why do that when you can play this? This is a 34-minute major symphonic statement, and it's fantastic. Wait till you hear some of it. And then we've got the 4 images for orchestra, which are from 1948-49. This is his more populist sort of style. And then the Ancient Greek March for chamber orchestra from 46-47. So it's I wouldn't call those last 2 pieces particularly neoclassical. They just happen to be listenable, which I guess in the first half of the 20th century was enough to qualify something as neoclassical. So let's listen to a couple examples. I mean, this music is simply delightful, absolutely delightful. I'm going to play you a bit of the first movement of the Sinfonietta, yeah, that's what it's called, which is 24 minutes in 4 movements. It's a mini symphony, a delightful mini symphony. It begins with a slow introduction. that leads into a zippy allegro, and I'm going to play you the transition from the introduction to the allegro and into the second subject. It's a very voluptuous and romantic sounding work, actually, for something that we think about as neoclassical, but it is. I mean, it is. It's in traditional forms, and oh my goodness, you'll play it 100 times. It's just marvelous. So let's take a little bit of the first movement of the Sinfonietta. Wondering where that's been all your life? I was. I mean, this is such delightful music, and we wonder why it took so long for, like, Greece to get behind it. Why is it? Of course, part of the problem is our revoltingly elitist music culture, which insists that the only Skalkottas that matters is the, nasty stuff, the really difficult, thorny, twisted, gnarly, angst-filled, experimental, forward-looking stuff, whereas the stuff he wrote that people might actually enjoy, no, that must be somehow less significant. And I think it's just the opposite, but that's me, So then I want to play you a bit of the Classical Symphony from the slow movement, which is gorgeous. I mean, this is such a fabulous wind band piece. Wind band aficionados, take note. Of course, you need to get some double basses, and you need a couple of harps. I mean, the orchestration is really quite cool, and he makes some amazing sounds with this ensemble. But let's listen to a bit of the slow movement. This is so, so lovely. Isn't that great? I just love this piece. And, there's another, like I said, there's another sample from the first movement at classicstoday.com if you're an insider. And if you're not, sign up now. You'll want to be. So you can get all these extra bonus things. I feel like, I'm doing that, that Medicare ad. Whoa, do you mean I don't have all of my benefits? Call now. We'll tell you what benefits you can be, what you can have. You can get free prescriptions. You can get fantastic death benefits, which will really matter to you after you're already dead. Well, okay, so I'm not doing the Medicare ad. The bottom line is I'm doing the ClassicsToday.com insider ad. So sign up because you'll still be alive to enjoy it. Anyway, this is a great disc. I hope you agree. I really hope you've just enjoyed these samples and that you take some time. Naxos has just got some unbelievable stuff. They really, really do. And my goodness, this was one of the gems of the past couple of years. I love this disc. I listen to it pretty frequently. And I really love having two sort of platforms with which to work, ClassicsToday.com and this one, because the truth of the matter is, when you're as busy as I am, when you're a critic and you're getting thousands of things to listen to and you want to talk about so much else, you don't get a chance to repeat stuff. And I don't like that. I really don't. I get a wonderful new disc like this. I listen to it. I go, oh, it's wonderful. Or, oh, it sucks. And then I write a review and it's gone. And when do I have time to listen to it again? So one of the great joys of telling you about this music is that I get to go back and find something that I loved and listen to it again. And if I still love it, I feel even better. And I do. Oh, this is wonderful. So keep on listening, folks. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.